are coming up on Autism Awareness Month, and I want to spend some time with a good friend of mine and her autistic son, Joseph, on this show, Something to Talk About. How much do you really know about this growing autistic community? You're about to find out. We'll be right back. We're Something to Talk About. From King's Restaurant in Tamuning, and so grateful for the staff at King's that provide us every week with this incredible seafood sampler. This is my friend, Josephine Bloss. You might actually recognize her because she's usually in uniform when you see her, but she's Major Joe Bloss, and she's with the Guam National Guard. And this is my friend, Joseph. This is Josephine's son. Hi.
Hi, how are you, Patty?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for
coming.
coming.
I'm doing great. Thank you for having us.
It's my absolute pleasure. I've just made a new friend. Joseph has been tickling me and rubbing my back for about 20 minutes now. It's the sweetest thing. You were telling me, we were talking a minute ago about, you say that there are some autistic kids that don't like to be touched or they shy away from.
Right, that's a typical characteristic, is they like his space. And Joseph used to be a lot like that, where his cousins couldn't get near him, he would push them away.
Yeah.
But you know, I never stopped hugging him or squeezing him, or
Does that make a difference?
I think so.
Kind of forced yourself on him? That you forced it?
I believe so. And when people ask me if they can hug him, I'm like, yes, hug him.
Oh, hug him.
They'll squeeze him, and so he has no problem being around people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How old is he?
He's 8 years old. He'll be 9 in May.
Can you tell me how you found out? Did you know?
I had no idea, Patty. I mean, until he was diagnosed, I didn't even know what the word autism meant. But we started out when he was very young. He was developmentally delayed. So we went to Naval Hospital, and they said he needs to see a physical therapist. He's not meeting any of his milestones as far as physically. So we started seeing a therapist. She was once a week, she would come over and do some therapy. And then one day she just said, can I bring in an occupational therapist, because he's not any of the other milestones. He wasn't making any sounds, the typical goo or da or ba or anything. So I said, sure. I mean, I didn't know what the difference was, right? A therapist is a therapist, but so the occupational therapist, she came in, her name was Teresa Cobb, and she just made a world of difference, because she's so knowledgeable, and she was so, she just pushed through. He just making himself comfortable.
That's all right, I have kids.
She just pushed through with, okay, we need to get this test, or we need to do that, because we want to make sure it's not this or that. I mean, he's even had eye surgery. Wow. Because he had a...
so they had to eliminate a lot of things to find out just where he was.
So they did all kinds of tests on him since, he was a year to 2 years. They were taking a lot of blood to do all kinds of tests just to make sure we eliminated everything. And then one day they said, we're going to send you to Tripler to see a specialist. And we saw the specialist, but he didn't want to jump to conclusions. So they said, we're going to bring you back in a couple months, do a few more tests. And then the second developmental pediatrician that we saw, he says, yeah, your son's autistic. And believe me, it was devastating. I have my parents with me because they help take care of him when I'm TDY or in training or something. And my mom, the whole plane ride back, cried.
Really?
I mean, we both kind of did. We took turns, because we just, what is it? For myself, what did I do wrong when I was pregnant?
Yeah.
Did I work out too much? Did I not work out enough? Did I eat the right foods? And when I was pregnant, I tried to eat all the right foods.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know.
Well, you didn't know, and there is I was talking to Leone Rohr. I don't know if you know.
Yes.
You know Leone Rohr, with Parents Empowering Parents, and she was telling me that because she has 2 autistic children, and that was there was a whole. Thanks, Zach. We got some more seafood here. She was telling me, you run the gamut of emotions.
Yes.
I mean, the first time, that's exactly what she did. She sort of blamed herself. The second time, it was it was equally tough, but there were, I guess she had more questions about what, how do you,
Right.
one, yes, two, what did I do wrong, and the emotional part of it for you though is interesting because you're a single parent
Yes.
as well, so you've got more of a burden. Do you think, or I'm not judging whether or not you do or not, but I'm assuming that.
A lot of people might think I don't know. I think Joseph for me was a huge blessing. I mean, I always tell myself, because I was so taklalut, right? As as an officer in the guard, I was very hard on my people. Especially the ones they would have children, and 6 months later they can't pass their PT test. What the heck's the problem? It's just a PT test. But then after I had my son, I mean, look at me, I'm still trying to get back into shape, right? But
Hey man, we all are.
right?
We all are.
But it just gave me a new understanding about what it takes to be a parent. Like you said, being a parent's hard enough. Being a parent, a single parent of a child with autism,
Yeah.
it's it has its challenges.
Yeah.
He gives me a lot of challenge, but in turn, he teaches me a lot of lessons. I think he's made me a better person.
Well, I mean, here's the thing though. He's just smiling here. What is he watching, by the way?
He watches different. You know what?
Oh, okay.
He has this infatuation with elevators. And when he was at my Mully's house months ago. She also has a son that's autistic, and he was watching these elevator tours on YouTube Kids, and he loved it. And he's screaming in the car, and I couldn't figure out. And then my pari said, "I think he wants the elevator tours. Just find it and put it on." And since then,
I
he
think
watches that.
Maybe I think that part of the burden, and maybe I'm not even using the right word, so forgive me if I use the wrong descriptions of things, but to anticipate what a child wants, anyone when they're nonverbal
Right.
and they're developmentally sound, is different than anticipating and trying to communicate when you're trying to find a way for each other to
Right.
speak a language that's only
Absolutely.
unique to you two, right?
Right,
Yeah.
because, and my parents, God bless my parents for being there for him, because they're so understanding, and he's got, the same kind of relationship with them because he spends a lot of time with them, but people would say, how do you know what he wants? I just do.
He's got his hand at my sleeve, so I'm thinking he wants my fat back. He was trying to tickle me.
He
and
just
it's like
likes to be around people now
touch
and be
he's-
very close to
yeah.
people.
So how did you develop that? I mean, how did you develop the language? Because you said, because I asked you what's the level of communication. You say mostly it's he grabs your arm when he wants something, right? And
A lot of
he
it
sort
was
directs you?
just guessing at times. And then once I learned it, okay, now I know what it is, then I would tell my dad or my mom, if he does this is what he wants. Oh, okay. And then that's how we kind of developed it. If he does something in school, they're really great at saying, hey, Joseph did this today and this is what this means. So that's where,
Oh, that's awesome.
one time he was going like this and I couldn't figure out what it was. So, I emailed the teacher and she said, that was cracker. How they came up with cracker with that in sign language, I have no idea, but okay.
Okay, so his diet consists of French fries. You say
French
right
fries,
now?
90% is French fries. He just restarted eating cereal. He won't eat anything wet, mushy, cold. So if it's cereal, it's got to be dry cereal. He likes Lucky Charms, but you got to pull out all the marshmallows,
Yeah.
which is just the opposite of all the other kids I know.
Wow, because
Yeah.
they go for the marshmallows. That's what you want.
Yeah.
So, aside from are there any dietary restrictions or requirements?
No, I mean, they tell me not to feed him glutens, but I said, but that's all he eats. Because
that is-
there's some studies about glutens and autism, but I can't help it. That's all my son eats, and I'm going to let him eat,
What he wants to eat
Yeah.
for now. I wonder what is in store for you as he gets older.
I wonder, I worry about that a lot because, we want to try to make him as independent as possible. But slowly but surely, I mean, when he was younger, they told me, we don't know if your son will ever walk. And if you saw him walking in here, I mean, he's just remarkable. So he's 8 years old and he's not talking yet, but I have a feeling one day he's going to tell me exactly how he feels.
Really? And can I ask you what the medical support is on Guam and the resources that are available?
There's not a whole lot right now. I mean, he goes to school down at McCool at Navy, the Dodea school, and they do their best, but there's no real autism-related kind of training like the applied behavioral analysis. But you talked to Senator Rodriguez about the bill with for insurance and paying for autism-related services. Well, prior to that, he passed a bill, which is now public law, to create the Autism Center in Tamuning across from JFK. So we're hoping once that comes up, the services will, some of the specialists will arrive.
You're putting your foot in
And
my
then he'll
face.
be able to take more advantage of the specialized services. Until then, we just continue to do whatever we can do to help him out, to help him develop.
Does it make a difference up at Dodea? The services that you get up at Dodea, they still have individual.
He gets his physical therapy, he gets his occupational therapy. He doesn't have speech anymore, but we're working around that.
Yeah.
They still try to do different methods of communication in the classroom. So I think he's getting a lot of services there. I know there's some there's some folks with specialized autistic training in DOE, but there's just not enough of them to go around.
Wow. Well, we got to move on to the second part of this, and I wanted to talk about the awareness, how to get people to understand. Senator Rodriguez was telling me that it's a growing community, and the numbers are exceptionally high.
Yes.
And unexpectedly. I don't know if it's
Right.
unexpectedly, but for you and those in the autism community, I'd be curious to find out, what your numbers
Right.
are. And how
When
to
Joseph
respond to
first
them.
got diagnosed, it was like 1 in 150. Today, it's about 1 in 42.
Yeah.
But I believe the numbers are growing because now they're understanding it more.
Yeah.
I don't think I think the numbers were always that high, but now they're understanding and they're able to diagnose them earlier.
Yeah. Okay. When we come back, we're going to eat some French fries, drink some water, and we come back. We'll talk all about that. We're something to talk about. I tell you that pokey.
It's good stuff.
Really good.
Yeah.
They've done a good job. We're here at King's, of course. That's a seafood sampler, and we've got Joseph, and we've got Joe Bloss. We're talking about Autism Awareness Month, and just the ability for the autism community to educate more people. What is the goal? Is it to understand the
It's
condition,
to
or to?
Yeah, so people can have more of a understanding and an awareness of the autism, the children that we have in the community. I mean, actually not even children, there's a lot of adults on Guam that have autism. So it's just to create that awareness and the understanding about autism.
The understanding, and I don't know, I feel like I feel like there's still a lot of work that the government needs to do to respond more to the community and the needs and the resources. With a growing population, clearly there's a growing need for services, and if we're
Yes.
only planning for what the numbers suggest, that they're small at the moment, the larger community, the larger autistic community could be cheated out of the services.
Absolutely. There are some in the autism community together who have kids that are in their late 20s that didn't get diagnosed until they were in high school. So for sure, they didn't get the services
How is
at
that
all.
possible? Is it the severity of it? Is it the
I
severity?
think
that
it was
you-
just the lack of understanding. A lot of kids are labeled as uncooperative, just doesn't want to learn, doesn't want to participate, unsocial, no social habits or anything like that, because they just didn't understand what autism is.
Is there a mechanism though in the schools? I know that Joseph goes to Dodea, but is there a mechanism that you know of where kids can be diagnosed sooner?
If you have if you think that your child has autism, you can get them tested. So there are tests available. I think Project Nenny or Carino or something like that
Okay.
does that. And at we're having our Autism Month is April, so we're having our fair on the 8th, and we're going to have, I think right now we have up to 40 community resource partners that are going to be there. So there's a lot from
So that's
from
okay.
the infants to adults, services that are being offered. So
Yeah.
more and more services I think are starting to be offered for those with autism.
Tell me your experiences in the Dodea school system, though. Do you think that they do a good job in
They do. Dodea
recognizing-
follows, of course, it's a federal school system, so they're real good at following the federal law. So with Joseph's IEP, he requires a one-on-one. He requires physical therapy and occupational therapy twice a week, so he gets that. And he's in a special needs classroom, but he does get included into the mainstream classroom.
How do the other kids respond to him? How is
Oh,
it
they love it.
socially at school?
The kids like him. Right now, they're still teaching him to respond when they say, "Hi, Joseph." He just walks away like he's ignoring them. But he'll smile. So they're teaching him to stop and wave at least. So we're making progress on that. He's not quite there, but like I said, he doesn't push the kids away when they come over to give him a hug or to say hi to him. So he's getting better with that.
Is it dispelling? Is a lot of this kind of dispelling some of the reactions? I mean, not dispelling the reactions, but just dispelling some of the stigma behind autism, that people really don't know much about it or educated enough to think that some of these behaviors that you were talking about, that people are afraid of, or they don't know how to handle.
Right.
I don't know what the
Yeah, when they
gamut
have,
of emotions
if there's
are.
something, and all kids are different, you can't find one child that's the same as another. They might have similar quirks, but you won't find two that are exactly alike. So a lot of times when he's kind of acting up or he doesn't want to do something, I'll just say, I'm sorry, my son's has autism, but we're working through it. And but sometimes too, I want to get upset with somebody when they give me that look when Joseph is having a hard day. But like I said, he's made me a better person. I'm very patient now.
What's a hard day?
He doesn't want to get up. He doesn't want to get out of bed. He doesn't want to change to go to school. He won't let me pick him up or put him on the bus, or he's just not wanting to do anything.
There's no cooperation there.
Right.
But most days are good days?
Most days I just talk to him, Joseph, we need to get ready for school. Mommy's going to put you on the bus. And he's pretty good.
Do you stop and wonder what is it that happened, or what is it, a trigger? Is that a right word?
Yeah,
for it?
there could be triggers. If he comes home and he's really upset, I'll contact the teacher, text the teacher, did something happen in school today? And they're really good with letting me know. Or he's just tired because we were outside all day or something.
Okay. It's stuff that any kid would be upset about. I mean,
Right.
when you're tired, you're
Right.
upset when you've been outside all day, or
Yeah.
there's too much pressure on you during the day. It's just his reaction to it is different.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So during Autism Awareness Month, what is the community? What do you guys?
Well,
have
we're working
planned?
with the community today. I just came from the Mayor's Council and we asked them to light it up blue. Like you see my shirt,
yeah, that's right.
light it up blue. So
God.
blue is the color of autism, and April 2nd is actually World Autism Day, and I have a flyer. We gave these to the mayors as well. And so around the world, April 2nd is World Autism Day, and so they light up buildings and different structures blue.
Oh, okay. Have we
And,
done that here? That I didn't notice?
I haven't seen it here.
well,
I think they said
better get on
Agana Shopping Center did it last
Okay.
year, the day before the Autism Fair.
Okay.
So this year, we're very happy to say Bank of Guam, where your
Yeah.
studios are right now, they're going to light it up blue on April 1st.
Oh, cool.
And so we've been talking with a lot of the Guard members. Right now, we know of about 15 kids in the Guard, or children of members of the Guard, that are autistic. So we're lighting up the fence line along Route 16
nice.
blue. So
Okay.
the general really supportive of that. So he's going to let us light up blue and keep it on for the month of April. And the governor's office, they're not lighting up blue, but the First Lady is buying like 26 flags, and she's going to put it up for Autism Month right there at the parade field. And there's other things. We're having our Autism Fair on April 8th, and I mentioned that we're going to have all our community partners there. But we're also going to have some children with autism doing some entertainment, some performances, and just 4 hours of a lot of fun, but a lot of information about autism. And my personal story with that, after he was diagnosed and I came to Guam, I was kind of trying to find my way around autism, and they had the fair. So I went to the fair and I signed up for the Autism Community Together, and they sent me a few emails. I think their meetings used to be on drill, so I couldn't make it. But They changed the Saturday they were having it, so I was able to make it. And once I got there, I was able to talk to a lot of parents. And so ACT is a support group, and I'm the new elected president. And, I'm just very grateful for what they provided me, peace of mind, and just a lot of understanding that I didn't do anything wrong. And there's nothing wrong with my boy. We just got to find a way to get him out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you need from the public? Ideally,
Well,
But
we're
you want there to
hoping,
be
we want them,
comprehension.
yeah, we're hoping for more education and understanding, but at least for the support, if they can light up blue come April, keep it on for the month of April, wear blue shirts or anything that says autism on it will be, just to let others know that, you understand and you're supporting their families living with autism. Because also, although Joseph has it, everybody that helps myself and takes care, anybody that takes care of him, we're all living with it.
Yeah, absolutely. You were telling me something about there's like little idiosyncrasies of his, like there's certain fabrics you said.
Yes,
Because
so
he's wearing like a quick dry shirt.
he's
right
wearing
now,
a quick dry.
and
We'll
he's
sit-
really attracted to my dress.
Yes, I
The
think it's the
fabric,
material.
The material, right?
He loves it. Not too long ago, Joseph never liked wearing long sleeve or pants. If you put on long sleeve, he will pull it all the way up and make it short sleeve. So I don't
Okay.
even bother buying. This is
All right.
probably the longest. But a few months ago, the occupational therapist in school said, "Hey, do you have any compression shirts you can let him wear?" Because his polo shirts were coming home with holes in it. I mean, I would be throwing them away. And so she said, it's just something, it's normal for kids like him. They bite on it. It just gives them, I don't know, some kind of security.
Or does it calm him?
It calms him. So she told me to start putting a compression shirt, which this is a rash guard, so I started putting it on. So he wears it underneath his polo shirt every day. But by the time I pick him up, this is all he has on.
Oh, because he's chewed off.
Or they take it off because he's more comfortable without it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yes.
No wonder he keeps going up my sleeve, or he's feeling.
He loves, he
he's
likes the
feeling
material.
The pleats and all
So we
that.
even fight to go to, he's wearing cargo shorts now because that's
Right.
what he wears to school. But if he has his way, he'll be wearing quick dry shorts and some
quick
kind
dry
of
shirt, compression shirt.
Yes,
eating
to
French
everywhere.
Fries, water. Is all
water.
He drinks is
All he
water?
drinks is water.
Wow.
Which my sister said, can you teach my daughter how to drink water?
And elevators.
He
An
loves
elevator video.
elevators.
Cute.
He loves. I push him in the stroller a lot when I run. He
Yeah.
loves that.
Yeah. Well, if is there a place that people can go to look for the activities or the calendar?
Sure, we have a
events?
Facebook page, Autism Guam, Autism Community Together on Facebook, or they can contact us on autismcommunityguam@gmail.com, or our number is 687-1284. Or if you don't remember that number, just contact me at the Guard, and I'll be sure to answer any questions. Because for ACT, we're trying to invite as many families because it's hard enough to accept it, but if you accept it, at least it helps you to deal with the everyday. And also through the autism community, we have a lot of partners that we deal with, and they send us a lot of resources. Like if there's training, for example, DOE is having some kind of IEP training, they'll send it to us and we'll push it out to our families.
Well, push it out to us, especially during the month of April. We'll do
Absolutely.
whatever we can. Thanks, my friend.
Thank you so much, Patty,
Always
for having
my
us.
pleasure. Always
Hey,
my
thank you,
pleasure.
Auntie Patty.
That will be this episode of Something to Talk About. We'll see you on the radio. Thanks for joining us.